Welcome to Smutty Scriptures, the podcast where three best friends gather together to explore the holy texts of fantasy romance novels. I'm Head Priest Blue Cromwell, and I am joined by my sisters in sin, Cuddlefish and Purple Space Cat, to tell you all about our thoughts on this episode's sacred text. We have actually completed, in one shot, Haunting Adeline. Or, well, most of us.
Sort of. Mostly.
Sort of. Which is fine. It happened.
Listen. Choices were made.
Choices were made. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. So many choices.
Just like in the book. There's just choices everywhere. Everyone's making them.
Yeah. For our dear listeners, both Cuddlefish and I have completed the book, and then Purple, you were around chapter 20 or so, and you were like, I've got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not something one necessarily reads for the plot, so that makes sense.
Wow, I read it for both the plot and the other subplot.
Oh yeah. I said that about Den of Vipers and y'all made fun of me.
What about Den of Vipers?
The plot.
Oh,
and the spicy time.
I agreed with you though on Den of Vipers. Like the second half was like plot heavy, but I was like into it.
I didn't read Den of Vipers for the plot. I read it for my first experience as one woman, many men.
Uh-huh.
And it was the first dark romance on the podcast.
It was my first dark romance, period. And I was like, ooh.
Going in hot. Just Den of Vipers to Haunting Adeline, like just full send.
I feel like all of my picks are going to be just super fucked up.
I mean, that's fine. Are all of mine not fantasy nonsense anyway? Like, we can all have a type. That's okay. We expose each other and bully each other into reading all of them anyway.
Lou's going to send us into vampires and unicorns. And I'm going to be like, well, how about murder, though? Have you tried child trafficking?
And I'm like, oh, good.
And then Purple's just going to be like, what is the most unhinged version of literature we can find?
It's a good balance, really, if you think about it. And then every once in a while, we come together for a Sarah J. Maas series. And we're like, okay, this is time.
Yes, I can't wait for the ACOTAR reread.
Dude,
I got two looks, and that's it.
No, I'm so excited.
So I will have to say, since this was a book that I chose to put forth to our cult here, I am officially turned to a Zaid girl because the things I would let this man do to me in real life are nothing short of illegal.
Oh, no, you're right.
In many states. There. And I would be so happy. I would say please.
Oh, my
and
God.
Thank you, sir.
As it's a fictional man, not a real one.
Listen, as long as it was him. Yeah.
You know, fine. I'll give you that. He is more my type. We compared him a little bit, just because for the podcast, we really haven't read a ton of dark romance stuff. I know we were kind of comparing him to more of like a Diesel type in Den of Vipers. But this guy, Zaid, is way more physically my type than Diesel ever was.
I agree. Diesel kind of reminds me of like a fucked up Tamlin.
Okay.
Like the physical thing, because he's got long blonde hair. Yeah.
Tattoos, the whole bang, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Zaid is, yeah.
Dark, mysterious.
Oh, boy.
2 eye colors, wow.
He's like an edgy Reese. Like a really fucked up, mentally concerned.
I mean,
more Reese than already.
But yeah, right. Yeah.
I literally don't remember any description of the characters.
In this book or just in life? Like what do you
mean? This book.
Okay.
In this book where I stopped at chapter 20, I don't remember anything about the character descriptions.
Like locks and all this shit. Oh,
I'm pretty sure that she had hair.
She did.
And I feel like he had a penis.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, we have heard about it.
There's a content creator on TikTok who is like a real life version of Zaid. He even puts like contact in one of his eyes, and he like does the scar or whatever, and he puts the hood up and stuff, and he's like quoting the book. I'm like, hello, sir.
Zaid is such like a edgy boy name too. I kind of love it, but it's also like so on brand. It's like, oh my God.
His last name is Meadows.
Yeah.
Of course.
I feel like so many 90s kids would like name their kids Zaid. I feel like that's like a 90s parent right there.
Zane, that kind of name. Yeah. I can see it. General impressions, though, how are we feeling? I mean, Cuddle, it's your pick, so I'll let you start of like your overall thoughts.
Well, I was a little worried to start. I definitely came around when we got to find a little bit more information about Adeline's likes and dislikes, and then I was like, oh, okay, it's totally fine then. And I really liked it. It was a fun, wild ride, and I cannot wait to get to the second book. It was very spicy. It had so much more spice in it than what I had thought. I knew it was going to be a lot, but I didn't know it was going to be like a lot. We got a lot of variety with it as well, which I really liked. It's not like some of the other books that we've read or that I've read. It's like the same scene over and over and over. And it was really nice to have different positions and different like perspectives and different
locations.
Objects.
Yep. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I enjoyed the book. Like, I definitely, like, between Den of Vipers and this book, I would be more interested in continuing, like, a series like this, if that's something that we wanted to do. But I also have, like, a lot of problems with writing. And I also have a lot of problems with, like, I feel like there's some really major plot holes that we don't talk about. Like, okay, I am here for spice. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm not. But this book, like, clearly wants you to follow a plot, like, right, of the parallels between, like, this murder mystery case and then Zaid's, like, rescue missions and stuff. Like, it's trying to have a plot. And I appreciate that. I think that's fine. But there's a lot of plot holes or things that just didn't make sense. Like, at first, I will say, like, the first half or so has some word choices that I don't really like. Like, for example, this author, right? Because Adeline's an author who's, she makes enough money off her books to just write books for a living. So she's a pretty well-known author, right? She does meet and greets, the whole shebang. She uses the word schmancy to describe a car more than once. Like, that's schmancy? You're a recognized author. Like, people look at you and they recognize you as an author. And you're like, schmancy, and you call your mom mommy dearest? Like, don't do that, even ironically. Like, that's cringy. I was cringing out of my fucking seat reading that shit. And then Zaid, at one point, in one of the first chapters we're introduced to him, he says, I need a mean-ass burger or something like this. And I was just like, I'm cringing. I'm cringing out of my fucking seat listening to these two fucking talk.
So I'm going to Google real quick because I think I know why.
Yeah, me too.
Why? Is this some millennial nonsense?
I think it is, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, for our listeners who might not be aware, we have 2 millennials and 1 Gen Z currently speaking on this show here.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is because we, believe it or not, did actually talk like that.
But this is not written, like, this is a newer book, right? This didn't come out, like, this came out recently.
2020. Yeah, but listen, you can take the millennial out of the 90s, but you cannot take the 90s out of the millennial.
Schmancy? Was a schmancy a millennial term?
Yes, and I still use it.
I do too.
Listen. My problem is that, like, listen, if you want to use a term and it's colloquial, like, it is what it is. But, like, this woman, like, is clearly a good enough author to make that her only job. That's her only thing that she does. She writes books for a living, and she can't find a better word than schmancy to use more than once. Like, it's not just once that she uses it as, like, a joke.
What I was thinking that it was like is the book is not taking itself super seriously in a lot of places because there's quite a few interjections and comments and little remarks where it just kind of puts in that little bit of humor where I feel like it almost breaks the fourth wall a little bit, or however, I don't know what you would call that in a book. It's third wall, second wall. Because then they just like make jokes and
these are really lighthearted, maybe in scenes where I don't necessarily need them to be. Like, it doesn't fit the tone always, maybe.
Oh, I thought it was funny as shit.
I mean, sometimes it wasn't like every single joke I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking cringing out of my seat. But definitely, like, some of the word choices were I was like, I'm supposed to be attracted to a man who calls, like, he's going out for dinner and he's like, I need a mean-ass burger. I'm sorry. I'm not attracted to you anymore. That's an ick. Like, you're not, I don't care how impossibly large you are, and you're not getting anywhere near me.
I was really disappointed when she didn't call him Kitty Cat the whole time.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should make merch for the Dual Minds Co. Etsy stuff, like on the Smutty Scriptures page, like Little Mouse and Kitty Cat or something. I think that'd be really cute.
Love them. I can't find the author's birthday.
Are you checking to see if they're a millennial?
I am. I can't find it.
HD Carlton?
Yeah.
But there was plenty of times during the thing when...
Can I say something
like it
dumb? Don't be offended. I know she's a millennial because in her fucking outro about the author, she says the line, when she's not bathing in the tears of her readers, she's watching paranormal shows and wishing she was a mermaid. And that's so millennial coded.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying.
Are you saying that we can't be mermaids?
I'm just saying. They have to be a millennial. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a mermaid. It's just it's of the times.
Uh-huh.
Chuggy, if you will.
I thought we don't say that anymore.
No,
we can't keep changing
we say it.
Slang.
You just don't use it right. We still say it.
I chuggy do.
Chuggy is like fucking chevron printing and clothing or something. I mean, it's fine.
Peplum tops and chunky.
Even mean?
Yeah.
It's like chuggy. You get it.
I get it because I wanted to be that so bad, but I did not have the money to be weird.
Statement necklace, man, that was it.
Purple, don't worry, you were never chuggy ever. You looked at that and thought it was fucking stupid.
I remember I really wanted to be grungy.
Yeah,
I wanted to very be millennial of you.
Avril Lavigne, like that was my peak aesthetic. Like that's what I wanted. I never got it because I wasn't alone. But I wanted it really bad. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm almost positive though they are.
Oh yeah.
So I think that it's got a lot of good stuff in it. I think, like you said, that there's probably some things in there that are nod to more pop culture-y kind of speaking and slang. That if that was gone, it might be a little bit more timeless of a book. Maybe.
Sure.
I find it weird to think of this as a timeless piece. Now, I did not finish it. I know, but I also then looked, talked to y'all. I got the Cliff Notes version, which is also very millennial. Leave me alone.
Right. The Reader's Digest version, if you will.
No.
I'll leave it.
I'm sad now.
No, no, I'm sorry.
I want to say that if you don't finish the book, I intend on finishing it, but it's like food, like if I'm in the mood for pizza, I want some goddamn pizza. And then I don't want pizza literally any other time.
Okay. And that's a dark
for a while there, for 20 chapters, I was like, hell yeah, pizza. And then I was like, I don't want to see pizza anymore for the rest
You're
of the
a mood reader.
I am. Yeah. And it escaped. It ran away.
That's fine.
And did not take me with it. And I was like, yeah, I just don't have the space for you in my life right now, man.
I get that.
It wasn't the consent issue. It wasn't the stalking issue. Like I'm very fine with suspension of disbelief. Like it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a stranger to any of that because I'm the unhinged one. It's yeah. Mm-hmm.
My thing with this book was more like, okay, because there are like little moments like, and like stuff like that I can look aside. Like I realize, like, for example, I know this is coming up because we're gonna read Crescent City eventually, but like I have a really hard time about reading about cell phones in books. I know they did a little bit of that in this book, but it wasn't like that bad. Like I know some things.
That's like such a Gen Z problem to have.
Listen.
Is it Chugi?
No.
Oh,
God damn it. But I had a big problem with, okay, one of the major things about the book that I did not like one plot point that I like please get me out of this rut. Because we touched on the whole stalking thing. That's obviously basically intrinsic to the plot. So tell me why. This man, he finds her because he's walking by her, like, meet and greet, right? She's, like, signing her fans' books and stuff like that. And he, like, instantly is, like, all obsessed with her or whatever. He starts stalking her. That's all well and good, right? That's the plot of the book. Why the fuck, if he knows that she's an author and he's obsessed and he's watching her with all her spare time, he never reads her fucking books. They never talk about that. He does not read her book. He does not ever mention her books. Nothing about her work,
Hold on.
her passion, once.
Devil's advocate, they never talk about it. So they never say that he didn't.
But she is
I
like,
can't
talks about
imagine
writing.
I cannot imagine that he's that obsessed with her and did not read that book.
That's what but like, why would you not say, like, that would be step number one. Like, step number one, I know the books aren't about her. Like, she's like she talks about, like, the types of books she writes.
Step number one is social media stalking. Step number two is doing literally everything else they've ever produced.
Yeah.
Gosh, you did it wrong,
I'm
Zaid.
just saying, like, he knows she's an author. He knows, like, wouldn't that get you an insight into her mind? Like, wouldn't that, like, I just can't fucking believe in a book with a stalker and an author that the books were never intrinsic to their relationship or anything they talked about. Like, wouldn't that have been such a perfect thing? Like, because you could have even written that he was, like, fucking reading them, like, stalking her in the woods, like, from her house and, like, reading the books while, like, thinking about her. And that would have been, to me, a more pure obsession. Like, if we're gonna forgive the murder and the stalking, as we do.
What's a little murder?
Right. But, like, it's very physical, his obsession with her and how she looks and the feeling that she invokes in him. It's not a lot about, like, her mind or like who she is as a person a lot of the times. It's more so just physical. And I would have really liked, like, I would have sold the obsession a little bit more for me if he was willing to read that. If he was willing to, like, get to know her mind on that level. Because there are so many moments of him sharing his work with her, even though it makes her uncomfortable. But, like, he's never, like, read her fucking books, bro. You got time.
Maybe that's book 2, you know?
I think I know why. Way back in ye olden times, in 1990, there's
Shut
a
up.
movie.
Okay.
I'm putting this in blue language. All right. In 1990, in the Stone Age,
Right.
there was a movie called Misery that is
Yeah, with the author and
yeah.
I know.
So they probably want. Oh, you know, you're well versed in.
I also came out in the 90s. I was there.
But anyways, I think that they wanted to kind of stay away from that because that was an extremely popular movie. And that's exactly what my brain thought of whenever I first started reading this was like, oh, it's like Misery, except gender reverse.
But wasn't that plot, they were already a fan of the author's work, and then they were, like, upset about, like, them writing the next book and, like, the plot line and, like, that kind of stuff? So they already knew they were an author, like, because he is obsessed with her physically and then finds out she's an author. I feel like that's, like, enough of a distinction. Because he
finds out that
he writes the book.
I think author then sees her because he sees the book sign and then he turns.
Yeah.
So he's like, author. Oh my God.
I know her book.
There's a hot lady. Let's go.
Yeah.
I think it's probably as close to dark romance can get to insta love on his part.
It's
Well,
insta obsession.
If you
You
love
think
me
he
enough
has,
to
like,
stalk me, read my
ADHD?
fucking book. Dude, you're not going to support me?
I mean, that is money out of her pocket.
Yeah, it's like, if you're
Rude.
going to stalk somebody, why are you being lazy?
Listen, if I ever go to stalk someone and they're an author or they're a movie star, I promise you I am going to pirate everything that they've made.
Okay.
It's taking money out of their pocket. You need to buy it. All right. And then you need to put in the work to memorize their work.
Something like that.
I don't know.
He will invade her privacy to read her great-grandmother's diaries, but anything she's written, don't care.
So really, maybe he's also a mood reader.
He's like, I love the drama here. He said, oh, this one has a stalker in it? Aw.
It's like
real
life. It's like us.
Like, oh my God.
Babe,
You should write one like
this
this.
is like
and I
our
would
song.
read it. Like, bro, that pissed me off. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? He doesn't even give a second glance. He doesn't even think about like stealing a copy of the book and like reading. I don't know. I just would have liked that, like that level of obsession.
Well, listen, if I'm forgiving murder, I can forgive him for not reading her book because he could get it. You know, like if he shows up to me in like a mirror, hall of mirrors or whatever, can I tell you how fucking hot that scene was? Jeez. Oh man, that was crazy. Cheese on crackers.
It makes me think of Elvis. Because Elvis famously had that room in the house where there's mirrors on the ceilings, on the walls, and everywhere.
I don't know.
Like a bed in the middle of the room.
You
know,
yeah.
Just hearing you say that, it made me think of Elvis.
Okay. Well, I don't feel like Zayd and Elvis have a whole lot in common.
I mean, well, you never met Elvis, so maybe.
I mean, fair enough.
Herbal's gonna go find the next book where Elvis is the
14-year-old. So Zayd would never.
Yeah.
Listen, so choices are
Zayd
made
is a better person than Elvis. Confirmed. new title of the podcast. Bro,
you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I aim to please.
You're coming out with bangers today. I gotta say, they're
you're
working.
So welcome.
Goofy.
What I live for.
So, do you guys have like a favorite part that you guys read?
I have a part that I have a very big problem with that keeps me up at night.
Is that like a least favorite part then? I mean, by all means, feel free to share.
A least favorite
trying
part.
To think, there's no animals in this one, so I can't imagine what it is.
Yeah.
Of the 20 chapters I read, my least favorite part, this is going to be a little controversial, but I think that once I explain it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. It was the gun.
The first
spicy
interaction with
scene.
him. Yeah, being spicy.
I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. And I hated it. I could not stand it. The whole time it was happening, I was just like, nope. Because do you have any idea how dirty that is?
I hope he cleaned it.
Problem with think of all the germs that are now inside of her.
That's the problem with the guns.
Yes, there's gunpowder inside her vagina.
Okay, because that pussy the bomb.
What do you think that does to her pH balance?
Oh no, she definitely got an UTI or yeast infection.
So many UTIs, and you know that like that shit didn't just go away. Like her body didn't just like auto flush it out. No, it's still like hanging out. So it's like a residual problem.
Yeah.
And I just know if you cared about her, you'd wrap it up.
I mean, there's something about shooting very least. There's a pun in there somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it's there.
I respectfully disagree.
Because you said with Den of Vipers. No, I think with Den of Vipers, you were like, I want more gun scenes.
Yeah.
And I got to that scene and I was like, it's a little problematic. It's a little not great. But also I thought the idea would be something you would be like into.
The idea is fine. Like, I don't care about the idea. What I care about is
wrap that thing
doctor's bills. Her doctor's bills. There. Listen, there are materials that are designed to go inside the human body, and there are materials that are not designed to go inside the human body.
Never.
I fucking loved it. I was like, hell. I was not super excited about the non-consent section of that interaction, but I think later we kind of deal with that. So
she did not consent to UTIs.
Do any of us? And yet here we are, living our lives.
Fair,
trying our best every day.
Valid. Very valid.
I mean, I like the gun scene. I found myself really enjoying right before they went to the party and she's wearing the dress and she's on the ground and then she has the belt around her throat, like that scene.
Sure.
Oh, I thought for sure, Blue, that you were going to say something because I know you had said in previous one that you were looking for that perspective.
See, but that scene didn't give that to me. Like, I remember reading it and I was like, finally, boys, I'm in. Like, let's go.
Smile and wave.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm fucking ready. And it just felt like it was more about, which is still a thing that is interesting, but I just felt like it was more about the asphyxiation than it was the actual act. And I was kind of like, okay, like I just felt like that scene wasn't for someone who just enjoys like an oral POV scene. It was for this strangulation, like kind of like element to it and everything, which is fine, which is not something I'm against. But I was like, ooh, my first taste of this scene. And then it didn't really happen. But I did get a scene in the House of Mirrors, which is I'm kind of combining my favorite part with my favorite sex scene because of the nature of the book and, quite frankly, how many sex scenes there are.
There were so many.
So many. But
I was not upset.
Hall of Mirrors, like, scene, like, because there's, like, a little oral happening, and then there's doggy. Like, it's everything that I want to see in a scene. And I like the constant, like, the watching of each other and, like, the mirrors and, like, her trying to get away from him. But, like, it's, like, a safe space, but it's, like, a horror thing. It's, like, it's a very good combination. Like, I think the book is probably worth reading for that scene alone, but just for that, like, because plot-wise, there's
listen. Well, wholeheartedly disagree. The things that comes out of this man's mouth,
it's a very quotable book. I'll give you that.
So good.
Yeah.
I told my husband, I was like, why can't you say stuff like that?
You're doing it wrong.
Just say these lines.
Stalk me.
He's so sweet to her, like in the things that he stuff. Listen,
He's so sweet.
Are you?
He is.
Chance? Like, do you see the color red or? I'm sorry.
Listen. I read those scenes just like you did. I will take the color red any day as long as that's what the scenes look like.
It's like a beautiful sunset, really.
It is. It really is. No, but like when he says, this is when they're at the Hall of Mirrors, what you're seeing now is what I see every day. No matter how far I run, how hard I try to escape you, you're everywhere I go. You're everything I see. Loving you is like being trapped in a house of mirrors, little mouse. And I've never felt so at home while being so lost inside you. Now, without context, obviously my husband was very confused, but
sure.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. That's so sweet to say.
But he won't read her fucking book.
Or clean the goddamn gun.
So he's a liar.
No.
He doesn't care about her health.
No, that is a good line, though. I like all of I didn't tag anyone specific, but a lot of the, like, finding redemption in her, like, that kind of stuff. I really did like. It was a very poetic book. It's a very quotable book. I will give them that on the dialogue. And
then we've got are you going to swallow my cum like a good little girl? Listen, he said it's all of this. It's all of it, you know?
We love a praise kink in this.
Get you someone who could do both.
Yeah.
I got 2 looks. That's it.
See, he doesn't really do the degradation kink, though. I feel like it's just praise. There's no, like...
Yeah.
He's just kind of nice. Like, he puts her in uncomfortable situations, but at the same time, he's like, aw, you're doing so good. And it's like, okay, well.
Are you trying to tell me, Blue, that the next book that I pick has to have a degradation kink in it? Because I'm pretty sure we could probably find that.
I respond to that more than praise kinks in general. But this book also has, not as much maybe, but you guys know, I've talked about this in other books that I like the prey kink, like where you're like, like being chased and like that kind of stuff. It's
primal.
Not really quite what I wanted. Like, especially I got really mad when like she's like on top trying to do stuff and he's like, run. And I'm like, bitch, she's already on top of you. Like, you make her do work. Whatever. Like, that was like too much. But like
so
the running
much
through the woods specifically and then getting caught, that was
Wait, do they have shoes on?
No, I don't think so.
Oh god, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it doesn't seem like the most comfortable situation. But yeah, I really liked like that side of things. So it had that for me, which was nice. But yeah, I definitely respond. I'm not really like someone that hears like the good girl, like whatever. Maybe it's because I don't really associate with being a girl or a boy. And like if someone said good they them to me, I would throw up. Like, what does that mean?
Good human?
Yeah,
good human?
Like, I don't think there's a gender neutral equivalent to like that
good
specific
dude.
Phrase.
It could just be good job.
Matriarch. Good job. Puts a little sticker on your forehead or something. I'm like, yeah, this is the praise kink I got.
Stamp, okay.
Oh my god. Like, yeah, but in general, I like more of the degradation first, like during the scenes, and then you could do praise after, like the aftercare type moment. But for me personally, yeah, I would respond way more to like, you're gonna do this, you're a bitch, you're a whore, or whatever.
I just really liked it. having him say sweet stuff like that, I think to me makes him a little bit more real. Other than just this like creepy stalker that hangs out in the woods. So I liked that.
Where are the creepy stalkers supposed to hang out?
That's so true.
I also really enjoyed his struggle with the trafficking side of the plot and how he was like vulnerable and he came to her and was like, I need to cuddle, and have that. I like that he was just more than one dimensional. I like that he had other things about him and he wasn't just
mean, tough guy, no feelings, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's love, but I'm saying that it's sweet, and I don't think it's all bad.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be too much if he, like, just due to the nature of the story. I mean, there's a way to do it, but with this specific story and this kind of outline, if he wasn't that type of person, like him being that sweet in contradiction with what he does, I think is what makes him more interesting. But yeah, it's just not always, it's not bad. It's not like an ick for me, but it's also like, oh, like, thanks, buddy. In case
the ick for me, though.
Thanks, buddy. There's your gender neutral.
What's up, buddy?
Thanks, buddy.
Keep going, sport.
Oh, no. The ick for me, though, was one of these quotes. It was, oh, God, I hated this. It was page 20, chapter 1. Right there in chapter 1.
Right.
This is the first guy that she kicks out, Grayson.
Oh, right.
Since I'm not getting yours, thought I'd create my own hall to get into tonight. I was like, Jade, kill him. Kill him.
He deserves to die. I did not understand why she was intently staring into the hole. Like, she was like, oh, I have to look in here. What's in here? Like, why? No. You just get pissed off and then call a contractor to fix it. You don't go like explore the random hole in your wall.
But then she wouldn't find her great grandmother's diaries, and then she wouldn't know that it's okay to love your stalker.
She said that she literally would have seen them when she changed around the pictures.
False story plot. Let it go.
Yeah. I'm trying to weasel my way out of it for HD Carlton, and the
just saying
are in HD.
Obviously, the HD Carlton author person watched way too many of those 90s, 2000s haunted places shows on TV where they went and explored like the trapdoors that shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Speaking of, there was like a little bit. Well, I mean, maybe it wasn't like a big plot point, but they made like an effort in the beginning to talk a lot about like supernatural stuff and her like seeing the ghost of her great grandmother and like whatever. They do not bring that up for the rest of the book. There's like one time where it's like Zaid's like, "Damn, that corner's kind of spooky." But like,
I wanted them to bring it back up. Maybe maybe we'll get it in 2.
I just feel like if you're gonna bring it up, because it was a strong influence for the first, maybe not half, but at least the first 25% of the book, then it's just kind of like over. Like, I would have even been okay if they never addressed it again, but then when they found out like who murdered her great grandmother and they like got hit like the record expunged, so to speak, I would have been okay if they were like, the house feels different, lighter somehow, as if, I would have like, just give me a throwaway line about it. Like, why acknowledge it and then never, ever bring it up again?
Maybe it was because it was just to show further that she enjoys stuff that is scary and that she is okay and comfortable in things that scare her and environments that scare her. And she like chooses to put herself repeatedly in those positions.
So is the reason she stopped seeing that because she has her own living terror in her house? And she's like, oh, I got no time for my ghost now.
Wait, do they move in together?
Well, he kind of ends up like staying there a couple nights and then stalking her throughout the day. I mean, sometimes he takes a couple day break, but he's got to work.
And she gets upset.
Yeah, balance, man.
It's wild.
It's all about that work-life balance.
Something like that. I wanted to talk about, I kind of already brought up like one plot point kind of thing, which is not a big deal, but it just made me feel like, I would say like my least favorite thing in the book. And I'm going to preface this by saying, you know what? Shit happens in life. Anyone could be technically a victim of human trafficking, right? But we know as a society that certain people are more susceptible to certain things, right? Children, that makes sense. they can't really communicate well, try to get their ass home, they don't know where they're going. People with mental illness, people with like drug issues, people with like problems that you can exploit or ignorance you can exploit, right?
Yeah, the vulnerable people.
Yeah. People that maybe quote unquote wouldn't be missed, right? And at one point in the book, they talk about the fact that this was like inevitable, and it's a good thing that Zaid's in Adeline's life because she was already targeted by that society that participates in human trafficking. And again, I'm not saying it could happen to anyone. And I'm not saying that it couldn't. But at the same time, this person is a well-known enough author to live off of her books exclusively. She goes to fucking meet and greets all the time. She always talks about how much she's traveling and like all this shit, especially in the beginning, like talking about her books and like doing this shit and meet and greets. And like she's someone whose face is very recognizable because she's more, I'm not saying she's a fucking A-list celebrity or something, but that's the person you target. The person that's like, this has this unique look, and like that's an author that people are like, she gets to the point in the book, or at one point she says like it's a couple months past like maybe when she would have normally released something, and her fans were starting to get like upset, like pushing for it. And I'm like, is that the person that I as a society would want to target for human trafficking? That just felt like a little like, see, it's good Zaid's there as her protector because this. I'm like, bro, her.
Well, I have a theory. And I think it is all coming down to who the cloaked figure was at the end of the book. And I think that it's Daya. And I think that Daya teamed up with Mark, or not Mark, fucking Matt. But I think she teamed up with Matt. And because she had a good time with them that night, right? So,
yeah. Well, she says, well, she obviously be lying, but she says that he stopped contacting her for a while, but obviously they could be in cahoots.
So I have a feeling that the two of them together made that happen, and that she's the one pulling the strings, and that's why she pulled Addie to get to Z.
Like, what do you think would be the motivation? Because what we know of her character so far, I do agree with you that that's probably who the masked figure at the end or whatever is, because there's no other characters in the story, really. And they said, you? So
it's
like,
her mom.
So like, what are the odds? But like, okay, so we know her as a character, like, it's established that she's been with Z for years and she's working on these human trafficking things and like this whole thing. Like, that's like an established part of her character. I'm okay with the idea that that's the person at the end that's like doing all of this, but at the same time, why Adeline then? Like, is she like obsessed with her and wants her for herself? Like what exactly?
I think it's to get to Z.
Maybe she's just really mad that she was left in the fucking parking lot for 2 hours.
I mean, so true. But like at the same time, well, she's a part of Z, and then she met the main person of Z. She met Zaid in real life. Like, she walked into the house and she's like, oh my God, you're hanging out with your stalker. So like, does she really need to get to him in that way? Like, couldn't she just go over to her friend's house? He was right there. Like, he's like within 6 feet of her. Like,
I feel like it's probably to cause pain, like emotional pain, and to put her, like, because he says at one point that he doesn't have many good somethings in his life, and that she was the first good something that he's had in a long time, or something like that. So I think it's to break him down mentally and emotionally.
Why would she want to do that to Zaid? Do you think they have like some, because he says like nothing happened in his past that's like fucked up. Did his
we
parents
obviously
dying
know
in a car crash like kill her parents or something, and she's taking a weird revenge route? Like, what the fuck?
Well, he knows who Daya is.
Right.
He already knew exactly who she was, knows everything. We also don't know who hurt, like, and gave him the scar. He just says that it was a time when he didn't succeed. So we don't know what the context of that is. So it's possible that all of those things are connected. But I think that's what the next book is about.
Maybe she was one of the victims, but like he didn't save her fast enough, and she resents him for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If that's like the option, then I just find it hard to believe that someone that was involved in human trafficking as a victim would then be like, you know who I'm going to put into the human trafficking system? My bestie, to hurt this other guy. Like, it just seems like you would have maybe more of a, I mean, not that you wouldn't want revenge.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I mean,
just
still
curious.
It's just more like, would you? Like, it still doesn't make sense to me. That would be the specific route. Because she could just fucking, like, she didn't have to do all that.
Maybe, what if it's the cop?
Frank? Or whatever? Or the cop that comes to her house, you mean?
The cop that comes to her house, the detective dude that he's like, oh, really? You're stalker? Okay, well, I'll help you.
I mean,
I think they have like a very small conversation.
yeah, I don't really think it's enough to warrant. It was you all along. That's some Scooby-Doo mystery ass shit right there, to be honest. It's probably Daya. Most likely.
Well, the back of the second book says, I'm trapped in a world full of monsters dressed as men and those who aren't as they seem. So, yeah, I think to me that's pretty.
Yeah, I could definitely, because she offers to like take away the hands of Arch that like Zayd left there, right? And then like they were like, oh my god, they must have dug them up, like they must have followed her and things like that. She could have probably just brought them right back to Max.
I feel like they'd be very smelly.
Yeah, you could see it.
I actually thought that he was going to fuck her with the hands.
Rigor mortis.
Like, you want his hands in you? Here you go.
Ew.
But it's only through
No.
me.
No.
I think necrophilia type shit would have to be a little bit past the line.
No. Depends on how depends how obsessed you are.
Oh my god.
Listen, he's
hate
not
that.
obsessing hard enough.
Goofy.
So, who did you guys most identify with?
The dead great grandmother who was just trying her best, living her life.
Probably the contractor that like she met by the cliff, and he's like, "Dude, you good?"
And she's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, very stable right now."
I'm totally fine.
Yeah,
And he's like, "Oh god, I'm gonna have to do so much paperwork on this." Yeah, I identify with that guy, Contractor Dave.
I identify as Daya being so pissed that her friend was like 2 hours late getting back to her that she kidnapped her. Like months later for revenge for no reason.
I identify with Sarah, the little girl who looks at Zayd and's like, will you be my daddy?
Oh my god.
It's a very different context.
Or lowercase d.
The answer is impossibly large D.
I want to call the contractor Bob the Builder.
I mean, that's fine. We could do that.
That popped in my mind just as I said it.
Goofy. Contractor
Dave, Bob the Builder. So I definitely am here for Bob the Builder. Where is his spinoff?
So true.
Day in the life of Bob the Builder, fixing shit for these weird kids trying to throw themselves off cliffs.
Do you guys have a least favorite sex scene? Because there were, we've gone over some favorites and some highlights. I just want to hear if there's anything that you didn't like.
Yeast infections.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
I mean, Max's stuff, I was like, okay.
You mean the stuff
when he figured her in the...
Oh, with Arch? That was Arch, right? That's
Arch. Just it's the same.
It's the same concept. Yeah, they'd look the same in my mind. I didn't.
I didn't.
The car scene very much. I will say that.
I liked that she was strapped down. I like that.
It took me a long while to like understand how she was wrapped up.
Wasn't it like a Corolla?
He does say that he's like too big to fit in that car. I didn't mind like the seatbelts and stuff. It was just like kind of like hard to like understand. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. Again, maybe this is a fantasy for a lot of people that I just like don't know. But like having sex in a car is so like something
overrated.
You do when you're like a teenager that it's just not like the idea of being sweaty and then you're like sticking to the seat and like everyone's uncomfortable because you gotta like move your legs around. Like I can't get
cramps.
Out of the impracticalness of it. Yeah, like she's like the seatbelts are like cutting into her a little bit. I was like, bitch, are you good?
Oh, heaven forbid that it's like been sitting there in the sun.
God.
And like the seatbelts are hot.
Bro.
And you touch them and you get burns everywhere.
That's my nightmare. All I can imagine though is like his thighs being sticky with sweat and just being stuck to like the leather seat. And it just makes me laugh. Like, especially because the house is right there and they just had sex already. This wasn't like I can't wait, you've been teasing me all day. This is like, we just had sex, let's do it again. But also, I cannot make it to the house. Like, bitch, I don't be uncomfortable in the car. Are you kidding? I own a mansion, like a gothic, beautiful mansion, and you're gonna bang me in your fucking Honda? Like, don't fucking do that to me, bro. Like, I don't want that. Like, don't do that to me.
I mean, I think it really depends on the kind of car. If you've got like an SUV or something that's got like all the space, you know,
with
like
all the
maybe
space in the
it'll
world.
be slightly more comfortable. Maybe the seats are out. I don't know. If it's like an Element where it's like one of those big boxes and you take out all the stuff in the back, maybe there's space. I don't know. Or what are those Yukons where you take out all the seats and like have the giant and it can fit like a queen bed or something.
See, but then you're just making it inside, but with extra steps. Like just walk into the house. Like you have a house.
That's where the preparedness came in. He didn't want to prepare the gun, but he prepared a car.
Listen, he is just showing us.
Yukon.
Zayd is just, he's flexible. He's going with
the fucking a car, a tiny ass car. He says he's not fucking ample size for this car.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Is it one of those drop tops?
No.
Here's speaking of cars though, here's something that I didn't understand.
It's gonna be like a little Ford Escort.
He has tens of thousands of dollars of equipment in his car.
Right. Which also does not take up any space for the scene to be happening. Right.
Correct. Mm-hmm. But also, he valet parks.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, you have a laptop? That's fine.
What?
Maybe it's like the Batmobile.
Nobody says anything?
Maybe it's like a transformer and it like folds up and hides.
Maybe. It is kind of ridiculous though, because he's like, here you go. There's a lot of equipment in that car. Maybe they just get in and they're like, is this guy like an undercover cop? I'm not gonna fuck with it. I've been smoking.
Then why would the valet not tip off Mark at the fucking house?
Well, if they have ins with like, the government and stuff, maybe that's more common than we would think. Like maybe he's in league with law enforcement. And that's why he's kind of been getting away with it the whole time. I mean, it's another suspension of disbelief, 100%, which I am constantly asked to do in this book, and I am tired. But it's just another one of those things. Just another one of those things. On the laptop, I like to imagine it's like how to sabotage Mark's life. Step 1, bang my girlfriend in his movie theater. Step 2,
Mr. Mark.
Team up with a serial killer and murder her. You know what? Actually, let's revisit that really quick with the least favorite thing. Why the fuck was that necessary? Was that necessary to include the like mentally ill woman with trauma that like helps him kill the 4 people in the haunted house? Like, I'm all for these people that are bad people getting killed. That's fine. That's fine. Kill him. And he wants to take Addie. I get it. But why can't
what's a dark romance without a little victim blaming?
Yeah, and like he makes a joke about like her mental health like at one point, but it's he knows it's like wrong, but he's like trying to fit in with like the society or whatever. Because they're like, isn't it weird how this little girl killed like 4 grown men? And then he's like, well, she said she had henchmen or whatever the fuck, because that's like part of her like delusions and stuff. And he's like, I probably shouldn't joke about that. And I was like, yeah, probably not. Like, did we even need that in the book? Could Zayd not have just set up elaborate little maze and like, or separated them some way in the haunted house and then just killed them off one by one?
Or called in his crew that was outside to help dispose of the bodies?
Yeah, like he's got this fake FBI team on his fucking shit, but he can't grab another guy to just kill like 4 people. I just think he's not motivated.
He was thinking with the wrong head.
Means something. Like it just felt so out of left field when she was like in the story.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like we just
I didn't dislike it though. Maybe she'll come back in the second one.
I think she's in jail. I think she's coming.
Maybe she'll bust out.
Maybe she's the one, and that's why hunting. She's going after the lady, and it's Haunting Adeline.
Oh, isn't that just the same first book, just his point of view? Just hunting or no?
Let me contribute.
Okay. No, you're right. But yeah,
I'm doing my best.
I suppose it could be her.
I mean, it could, but like at the same time, like, why is she even there? The only purpose she served was to like lower Zayd's actual body count by like a few, you know?
Yeah.
And like, you're trying to tell me this guy, like in the opening scenes, he's like, I don't know, like avoiding getting shot and like taking down all these people. He can't kill 4 old guys. And Mark's like 80 years old. You can't murk that guy? Like if you cough too hard in a boomer's direction, they're dead. Like I just can't believe that you didn't fucking murder them effectively.
I don't think it's an inability for his murderousness. I don't know why the author chose to include her. And it's kind of like, what is it? The Indiana Jones thing. Indiana Jones was completely unnecessary in the entire movie because if he wasn't there, then the Nazis still would have got. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of like that, but I don't hate it. I wasn't mad at it. It just was a little bit more interesting, I guess. And I was like, who the fuck is this? What's going on? And I'm not mad at it, but I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
One of those weird
it
things.
just felt like she couldn't figure out how to get from one place to the other. And she was like, you know what this story needs? Diversity among serial killers. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I needed that. And then like he doesn't help her afterwards. Like he's all about like helping women, like rescuing women, and then like this woman's like very deranged and like murders people, and he's like,
no,
thanks, bestie,
not you.
see you later. I know I have infinite resources for all of the victims of human trafficking that I saved to live comfortable and discreet lives. You just go do what you want to do. You want to go murder? That's your choice. Everyone has a hobby. I do too. You know,
he's so supportive. Okay.
Yeah. He's like,
except he wouldn't read her books,
bro. It's like a never ending like. Why?
Listen, I'm just saying, I will absolutely not allow you to slander my love.
I just think sometimes I'm like, bro, what do you think? What are you doing over there? You know?
Me? I'm thinking.
Oh, you're thinking.
We need to get the builder in here to talk to you.
I'm on the edge.
That's how he should have been looking at that girl, but instead he's like, damn, you're probably pretty mentally ill. Well, good luck with that. Queen.
If only somebody cared.
Yeah. He's like, oh my God. Well, I know you were like probably a victim, but I didn't save you, so you're probably someone else's problem.
You're someone else's victim.
Say, please help this woman. But you know what? It's fine because it leads into the best spicy scene of the whole book. So I guess that's fine.
It's true.
I guess nothing really gets me quite in the mood for a little spicy time with my loved ones who I'm stalking than murdering 4 old men.
Listen, if it wasn't, if as long as we can look past the murder, it's a great book.
I mean,
what's a little murder amongst friends?
Yeah, just as a little.
Maybe the real friends are the murders we made along the way.
What the fuck? Zayd is like, you get it. Adeline is like very okay with everything that's happening too. Like maybe she probably should have not been so understanding immediately.
But she wasn't immediately.
You kill bad people? She's like, I gotta think about that.
Done.
Well, yeah, she's like, well, I have to process how I feel about that, but if you want to fuck, all right. So, Queen, I love her. She's crazy. She mentally ill herself. What is going on with this? Is there any like sane person in this story? Maybe the mom that like barely pops in and it's just like, are you okay? Why do you want to live in the house that your great grandmother was murdered in? And she's like, I don't know. I just feel connected to it. And she's like, well, whatever. Okay. Like, actually, that's who I identify with as much. The mom who's just fucking exhausted with her fucking daughter who's like off the fucking rails.
Can we just talk for a second about the fact that the nude thing where she was like, I haven't taken nudes in long, but I don't take nudes for men. I take nudes because I like my body. It's like, hell yeah, that's why. You go. I can't identify with that, but yeah, you do the thing.
See, I like that.
That's goals. Only that one little part.
Yeah. We love it. We love confidence. We love exploring your sexuality and your sensuality. I fucking love that part. However.
Oh, no.
Well, this is not kind of related, but not. This is something I brought up with Den of Vipers too. I don't know why this is a thing. It seems to be a trend that's happening with dark romances specifically. Like it's never really mentioned otherwise. Maybe because we read a lot of fantasy. But I find it very cringe. Like when they're first like setting up these like encounters and like they really haven't made contact with, or maybe they've made contact through like text message, but they're not like together. It's like early part of the book. And he's just talking up about how she doesn't have any of that plastic beauty and like she doesn't like, that's so cringe. That's so fucking cringe. God forbid this woman's like, you know what?
The ick?
It's an ick to be like, to put woman's beauty on a pedestal because one is natural, which of course she has the perfect figure, the perfect hair, the perfect eye. She is the beauty standard. And he's like, wow, so you didn't need any help getting there? Like, you're just promoting the same beauty standard. Like, it's just dumb.
Welcome to the 90s.
Yeah.
And the early 2000s.
it's just
That's yep. That was our
At
life.
least she doesn't wear ultra low rise jeans.
Oh god.
Cramp
With
It's
the
our
whale tail.
together for everybody.
Bro. It's just like a thing. It's just like becomes like this. I don't think women should be put down for having, if you are like, man, I've been insecure about my nose my whole life and you want to go fucking fix it, great. Do your thing. If you don't think you need anything, I think that's beautiful too. I don't like the pedestal of like, she's more beautiful because she doesn't feel like she needs these enhancements, but also she has no flaws. And I'm like, you fucking, okay.
Well, she has a flaw. It's just the fact that she's okay
with the inside.
Right. So he's like, since I can't
There's a
see
pretty
it,
big flaw.
yeah, then everything's fine.
Right.
So yeah, that kind of stuff is always just like annoying. And this is not necessarily a Zayd thing, but this is like my experience with more male presenting people. Like half the time, like if I'm wearing like a natural makeup look, most men that I've asked have looked at that and been like, oh, you're not wearing makeup. And I'm like, you don't know what makeup fucking looks like. Like, do I genuinely believe that Zayd like knows how to look at like and see if someone's had fucking Botox in their fucking like shoulder muscles to make them like no, I don't fucking think he knows what that looks like. I don't think he's spending his time like influenced by the media and beauty and the standards that women are put to, or more femme presenting people are put to. So it's just like unrealistic to me that anyone would be able to spot anything but like botched work, I guess. Like it's just like, you don't fucking know. You don't fucking know. You know?
Well, apparently I don't fucking know.
unless you get it like crazy, like you know. But if someone, I've seen people all the time where I'm like, I think they're natural, and then they're like, oh no, my eyebrows are tattooed on and I have fucking lip injections. And I'm like, holy shit, I would never have known. Do I genuinely believe that Zayd would even know what that looks like?
I want to know how many times you're going around asking people, hey, are you natural?
People talk about it a lot, especially like being in the modeling industry for a long time and like people enhancing or not enhancing and choosing to do what or whatnot. And then working in a strip club for a while. And then the enhancements of, should I get this done so I can make more money? I feel like I have at least have been very subjected to that kind of thing. Like I've had a lot of friends who did illegal, like, you know, they got their fucking shots and shit. I'm like, bro, you do not know what you're injecting into your ass, but whatever, it looks good. It's fine. But like, I feel like I've run into a lot of that. Maybe that's a unique experience. Maybe it's just because of the industries that I've worked in, especially being someone who's an adult content creator now. It's so outdated of a mindset to be like, it's fine if you want someone who embraces that. So you can date, you can like someone who doesn't wear a lot of makeup. You can like someone who doesn't have any alterations to them, but to put one person on a pedestal for that, and it's just not, doesn't make any sense.
I am willing to bet $1 billion that Purple and I don't disagree.
Yeah.
But that is exactly what, you know, that's what the beauty standard and rhetoric was like when we were kids. That's what we've grown up with. That's the reality that we've always had. So I'm glad things are different now than what they used to be. And that's not saying perfect. It's got a long way to go.
Sure.
But that's, you know, it's assuming that they are a millennial age person, right in line with everything that, you know, used to be. So I think that's one of those other moments where their millennial is showing.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. Sorry. Hashtag girl boss.
I cannot wait to see the next book. From what I understand, is Adeline turns into a badass than in the next book. And that's something I'm really excited for, is to have her.
Adeline goes hunting?
Wow.
Is it like
I
hunting
think,
we will go, a hunting we will...
I think that's not the case.
Maybe.
But
Damn it. I'm trying.
I mean, I didn't catch the reference, so it sounds millennial code.
Oh, that hurts. Thank you.
So it will probably make it in the next.
Okay, so thank you very much for listening to the last episode.
Oh, no. Sorry.
I will never read this book.
I'm
done.
sorry. Listen, one day we'll read a Gen Z author and they'll fucking put some shit in their book, like a character tells the other one they're so slay, and you guys will be like, that's fucking cringe. And I'll be like, yeah, it is, but sign of the times.
I want Asriel and Akatar to have Zayd vibes.
Sure.
If the next book, Asriel, has like a fire kink, though, I know he won't because, you know, scars. But if he did, though,
Mhm.
I didn't even make that connection. It's like
Yeah, I don't know if that would be on his list. I don't know if that would make it.
But I think because of it, it could be. Sarah could write a dark romance novel with Azriel, and he's like working through his stuff with fire and like, oh god, yes, yep.
I want like an Elaine.
I would read
Azriel,
it.
Lucian, like three-way combo. I want them to be in a polyamorous relationship. That's my dream.
Wow, and leave Eris out there for nothing.
I mean, she could have 3 boyfriends, I guess. That's fine.
Wait, who?
Elaine.
Oh,
Elaine's a wide shoes.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want her and Lucy.
She doesn't want to pick Elaine.
I mean, we all know Israel's gonna go with fucking.
You're fired
anyway, and I'm fucking pissed about it. But it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Fine, Sarah.
You.
Thanks. I love it. I did one thing I will compliment this book on is that our main our MC, if you will, is like 26, and I think that is the oldest person that we have read.
Love it.
I love that too.
Yeah, so that's something. I mean, it does also hurt to say 26 is like the oldest we read in a romance novel. Like that's
no, because what's his face was 500.
Oh my god, it's always these
Stop.
young like.
He had his main character energy.
I think Elaine is like 26 or so by the time that we get to the end book, so at least they'll be a little bit older too.
Nesta was older.
Oh yeah, no, she's gonna be like 25 by the time we start the next book. I just looked on the wiki, but that's still better than 19. I'll take that.
Yay! Not a teenager.
When can I get a teenagers in their 30s? I don't do that. Okay. Speaking of,
I think
how old is Aid?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this main character kind of needed to be a teenager, though. Like they needed to be 19,
more realistic, yeah.
because she's making some highly questionable choices, and I could much more easily believe it if they were 19 instead of mid-20s.
I love the fact that she like didn't just take it, that she fought back the whole time. I liked that. I liked her little bratty no. And then fighting him and running from him, like I like that. It was good.
Yeah, she was a fierce main character. I'll give her that. And I like that she was like mid-20s. I looked it up. It looks like Zaid is in his early 30s, but I don't know if they ever really say. But that's not a weird gap, so that's fine.
So then it's totally fine for him to say a mean-ass burger.
No. Not to me. Never to me.
Do you have any good fan casting?
Adeline, and I refuse to believe that I would accept a man who would speak such a way. But then again, if I said mommy dearest, unironically, maybe I would be okay with it. I will never get over that shit, bro. I'd never.
Who do you think would be a good actor to play them? Like fan casting.
That's a good question. I mean,
Jennifer
maybe
Coolidge?
like Henry Cavill for Zaid with like, the right prosthetics and like makeup and stuff.
I almost feel like he's too thick.
Yeah.
We need someone a little thinner.
Tall, though, no, isn't he like muscly?
Yeah.
He's made of it.
Yeah, I kind of picture someone more of like Henry Cavill's build, I guess. I don't know about Adeline though.
Yeah, I think Adeline is kind of physically described as a pretty generic girl. I don't think they focused on her very much with that.
Yeah. She's the girl next door, and he's the one that's allowed to have a flaw, but his flaw is romanticized. The scarring and everything. I like scars. I'm into
I don't know. I feel like having a Mustang is a little bit.
Don't stop it.
Yeah, I guess in my head I picture someone like
I'm just saying it's not economical.
Not economical.
Yeah.
And you bought it for the tag price.
Oh my god.
You just took all that depreciation and he's like, yeah, I don't care.
You know who? Okay, they're not an actor. They're a comedian, but I think Zaid would be like Matt Rife.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be a good Zaid.
He's delicious.
And because the female character is so not like standout, I really feel like anyone is whoever had better chemistry with Matt Rife is.
I almost feel like, well, no, never mind. I was gonna say Emma Watson, but then I take it back.
I still want Jennifer Coolidge.
You look like a hot dog. Oh no, you look like the
You look like the 4th of July.
That's the love
It
got a
makes
hot
you
dog real
want
bad.
dog real bad.
Oh my god. Zayd standing there with a gun. Like, huh? See, but then she would say that line and Zayd would shoot the hot dog. He'd be like, something shaped like that's not going anywhere near you unless it's a part of you. Like, bro, it would never work.
Things I did not know I needed.
Oh my
until I
god.
said it out loud.
Oh boy.
I know we've discussed the ending quite a bit because it is quite a cliffhanger. Any unanswered questions that we would have left? I don't
Yes,
think so.
I have one.
Okay.
I think you guys can answer it. Did he ever replace the alcohol?
No, it's
No.
He just drinks her.
That
fucking
is such a
shit.
dick move.
He buys her roses all the time.
I don't care. That
She does
alcohol's
call him
expensive.
and ask for it, I think, or something.
Yeah,
Alcohol's expensive. He's just like, oh, well, I'm just going to drink it.
yeah.
And then never replace
He's like
it. That is-
moving in. He's like, I live here now, and this is mine.
I mean, he does the dishes, but he won't buy the alcohol he drinks.
Or read her book.
Or read, or
Oh
clean the
my
goddamn
gosh.
lawn.
Stop it. He's had more to do.
He's like,
You what?
I will cut off the thorns on the roses for you. I love you. Oh, that's sweet, I guess.
Stop it. That's adorable.
This is just a personal thing, but because I'm allergic to roses, I just like hate the imagery. I was like, oh, it's so romantic. Me knowing I'd be fucking ill. Like, that was hard for me to get over, but I did. And like their whole rationale of like something his mom used to do is like fine.
It was cute. And you stop it.
What if he left her like really useful things instead?
If you left her like dead bugs. I mean, like, we could play this game.
What do you
all
mean?
night.
No, like I feel like a real stalker who like cared about me and my well-being would like give me a light bulb replacement or something like necessary that I needed.
Uh-huh.
He would go out of his way to notice that I needed a new light bulb. And he would go get it for me and leave it instead of a rose. So that way I
Noticed
didn't
you were
have to
out of
leave the
eggs.
house.
So I went
Yeah.
ahead and bought.
That is a caring stalker.
Oh my goodness.
That is
Someone who
true.
will get you someone who will grocery shop stalk you for you.
And instead, he's like, no, I'm going to drink your alcohol and just leave flowers. What does she
And
do with all the
listen-
flowers? It's never said. He like covers
Probably
the fucking
throws
room in
them
flowers
away.
one day. And like, where did they go? Did she throw them out? Like, does she put them in a vase? Does she have fucking 100 flowers on her like fucking like kitchen
Could
counter?
you imagine the trash day?
She eats them.
He
No.
crawls into the drywall and eats the flowers. That's her lifestyle.
Maybe she throws them over the cliff.
Oh my god. Maybe it's romantic imagery. I guess
It's
at least.
very dramatic.
But yeah, what does she fucking?
I
do
just
with
want
all
to see her with a wheelbarrow. Just
Oh my god. So, do you guys have any predictions for book 2?
I could definitely see it being Daya as our antagonist, perhaps. I definitely think the two are going to fight their way together because the author is like, ooh, power imbalance time to make Adeline really strong and really independent. That way their relationship's on a more equal playing field. So I think that will happen. That's about all I got. They're definitely going to bang and he's going to put it in her butt.
Yeah.
He said he was going to, and I believe him. Seems like a man with a plan. Do I want to read it? I mean, not particularly.
he's
but
just
I'm not
all
against
about
it.
that follow through.
I mean, would you say
Maybe
he's
not
a little
all of
bit
the
anal about it?
forethought. Oh,
Stop. You're fired.
Listen, it'd be like that sometimes. But yeah, I think that'll be true. I think the two will like figure out how to get back to one another. I think it'll happen relatively early in the book, within the first 20 chapters. That's about all I got.
Yeah. I'm pretty in line with that.
yeah. I have a very well thought out opinion.
You're like, next time, all I know is there's going to be a dragon and a dog. And
I love
They're
it.
gonna wear shoes when they run outside. He's gonna sell his Mustang, buy a Yukon.
it's going to drive more sensible cars.
He's gonna fill up
Grocery shopping.
Mustang.
And read her book.
Finally.
And rate 5 stars.
Like, can the man take her on a
He's
date?
gonna
just
go
once?
murder everyone who says it's bad.
Can he
Next
just
thing
take
you
her on a
know,
date?
Purple's going to say he's going to get rid of his hoodie. And he's going to start wearing khakis like a real man.
He just becomes like a middle class fancy guy. That's all he's got.
Fancy schmancy. Schmancy guy.
Ah!
No, not if he's buying the Yukon.
Bro, he drives his Yukon to the local Applebee's. I need a mean ass burger tonight, ladies. Wow, we got here just in time before the restaurant started to fill up.
Listen, he's got to be incognito, okay? This is how he blends in with
we're
the
doing the 2 for
society.
25, right, Addie? Right?
They will never know.
I'll send her a Google invite.
Bro, he puts on his calendar. Oh my god.
His phone is clipped to his hip.
Damn.
He wears the white tennis shoes with socks.
She's just not into him anymore because he's not dangerous. Like, he's settled down and she's like, what the fuck? She's gonna have to go find some other killer to date. Oh my god.
This is making me feel so old.
There's nothing wrong with the middle class fancy life, man. That's the goal.
Fancy schmancy.
You don't understand.
Go on. I would love to understand.
Those things my brain went. Oh
Listen, there's something for everybody.
Goofy. Purple is sweating over there, just fanning himself, just like dying.
yeah, I'm dying.
Purple's like, and then he's gonna have a dad bod. Oh,
Yes.
He's gonna measure the rain.
he's gonna measure the rain.
Gonna do useful things like put on snow tires on the Yukon and shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That lawn. That lawn is gonna be immaculate.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Love it. It's so good. My lawn.
Oh gosh.
He's gonna reward himself with a little glass of whiskey. Is not his own, of course.
No, he'll
Right,
switch
right,
to
right.
lemonade.
Mm-hmm.
His
And
nose
also
is
Water
they'll-
with lemon.
They'll have a 5-year-old daughter at that point. Is that a prediction? He does talk like an adamant scene about like adopting her, and then he brings it up to Adeline. Do you think they're gonna like adopt a baby?
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Is like he's like, babe, I got to give up my life of crime. We're parents now.
Yeah. This is my
And then
partner.
Adeline is like, what the
Suburb.
fuck is happening?
They're gonna move to the suburbs.
Oh boy.
She's
Yep.
gonna join the PTA.
Not the
She's gonna
baby.
come. She's gonna come home one day and he's like redecorating the house, like all gothic and spooky. It's gonna be like child protective and like eggshell
Yeah,
walls.
it's like safe
Oh my God.
colors for kids.
He's gonna cover the the furniture in that plastic.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
He's gonna make you
Wow.
take off your shoes when you come in and leave it at the
Oh yeah. And you know he's in those white New Balances? Hell
Mhm.
yeah. He takes a passion for grilling and smoking meats. Adeline's just sitting there writing her little book. This is all a fantasy for Adeline. Like, she is not living any of this, and she just... What if that's the author? What if I just crack the code? What if I... Wait, does it mention if she has a husband? Hold on. Now I have to know.
With her partner. This is with her partner.
That's true.
I'm dying. I can't take it.
She's just sitting there writing her story about how you used to be, like, the shadow.
Dangerous.
What happened to you, baby? We need to spice up our sex.
He takes out the gun. She's like, that gave me UTI, and you fucking know it. He said, not like that.
They both go to bed at 9:30.
Yeah.
Oh God! But he's got to wear one of the CPAP machines.
Oh my god. Years of damage to this man's lungs. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
She's up all night, like, looking at him, like, can't fucking stand it.
Oh. Now that.
Adeline wakes up in the middle of the night because his CPAP machine, and then she sees her, like, great-grandmother's ghost, and she's just like, what the fuck is that, bro? She's like, bro, that shit is loud. I'm in the attic, and I can hear it all the way up there.
And her mom finally says, you know what? It's about time that you keep.
You settled down. Oh my god, she gets him like a normal day job doing real estate like her.
Mhm.
Oh my god, they go home for the holidays? Bro, like what is their relationship?
They bring
look like?
cranberry
Yeah.
sauce.
Oh my, homemade, of course. Maybe they say it's homemade, but he puts it out of a can. He says it's an old family recipe as a joke, but he never explains a joke. I think that's my new headcanon.
Oh, poor Zaid.
Absolutely demolish, right?
You now have taken Zaid to no sex appeal whatsoever.
Hey, that's a fine
No,
man right there. That's a man I'd look for in real life.
It's just a very different kind.
Yeah.
It's a very different kind of stalker, that's for
Yeah.
sure. That bitch shows up and he's like,
Yeah.
and yeah.
The partner
that's
you
not-
order versus the
Oh, God.
partner you get. You know?
Yeah, he's Zaid from
Amazon
Wish.
versus Wish. Yeah. Like you think you're getting in this like complex relationship with this
Nope.
like
I
serial
got my
killer
stalker on
stalker.
Temu.
Yeah, and he just wants to be like a normal husband and like have just to be like a normal guy.
His mail order stalker.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Well, before we get off topic, unless there's any we have to do Bay of the Day. I was gonna do
Oh,
outro.
Well, I wonder who we're gonna pick.
Yeah, it's Bay of the Day. I know there's a
It's
lot
gotta
of
be
choices.
suburb
There's
Zaid.
so many choices. It could be Zaid. It could be
Suburb
Zaid.
it
It could be Zaid.
could be.
Yeah. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Zaid.
Oh wow!
I'm
I didn't see
dying.
that
Yeah,
one.
I know.
Wow.
Little shook up on that one.
Didn't pick the serial killer lady from the haunted house.
No. But yeah, I it's gotta be Zaid. I am a Zaid from now on, so
Yeah.
just so we're
I'm-
clear, I
I
think
like the suburb one.
Yeah, we'll get that one. I want to get the 2 for 25 with my homie. You know, that's what I want.
we just
Man.
remake the daddy dating sim as the book talk dating sim.
Honestly, I do get it though. Like he is
But then
physically.
they make them all suburb guys.
Oh my god.
I bet you he invests really heavily in his 401k.
Oh yeah, investments for days. Children are set up. He has a child now. He has a 5-year-old daughter. He's got to take care of her in her life. This has just devolved into nonsense,
Oh,
and I
man.
love it. Honestly, best episode yet.
I can't.
Well, I'm glad we agreed that the one main character interest is the
Yeah.
Day of the Day.
It's true.
It can't be anyone else. Honorable mention to the very concerned construction worker who is like, "Are you
Right.
good?" when she looked like she was going to jump
The
off the cliff.
builder.
Yeah. Honorable mention to Bob.
The builder.
Yes, of course, and that's it. Movies. Well, before we get too off topic, I am going to read out our intro or
Sorry.
our outro here. No, you're good. We're having fun.
Oh god.
Goofy. Well, we want to thank you guys for listening. This, of course, has been the Smutty Scriptures podcast, reading Haunting Adeline and taking it very seriously. In our next episode, we will dive into a couple novellas, I believe. One that is unhinged, I would say, in plot. But you guys will just have to wait and see. This season 2 of the Smutty Scriptures podcast is getting a little crazy, a little wacky, but I'm here for it because then what we're reading fits. So I'm all on board. I'm having a good time with it. But
It's true.
Yes.
we'll have some very short novellas for you guys read by next week, and yeah, just hope that you guys are enjoying the show. Of course, you guys can always please leave reviews. By the way, please leave 5 stars because we're flawless and don't need any constructive criticism. So leave a 5,
Just like
on any
Zaid.
service that you listen to. Exactly, so true. And follow us on the Smutty Scriptures Instagram and the TikTok pages if you want to keep updated on when we're posting episodes. Any updates on merch that we make. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I think Little Mouse and a kitty cat merch, the idea would be really cool. And Cuddlefish and Purple Space Cat have been making a lot of fun designs, a lot of like book club kits, a lot of Throne of Glass stuff, Den of Viper stuff, and of course I'm sure there'll be some Haunting Adeline stuff on there as well. But you can get access to that through the Smutty Scriptures Instagram, so that's the best place to find everything. But with that being said, church is adjourned.
Amen.
Really? I really need
You're still in pieces.
Bro,
suburban Zaid with a kitty cat tattoo.
we'll pray about it. Amen.